What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Chinnist. Today is August 8th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 20 with 18 different titles. I have read through the stack, pretty decent stack this week. Just want to go over some housekeeping. I have a stack of digital downloads that I never ever use. I buy quite a bit of Blu-ray, but I never download these. So, I really want these to go to good use. So I'm going to go ahead and start, as long as I have some to give away, I'm going to start giving these away on a weekly basis. If you're interested in getting into the weekly random draw for this Thor Ragnarok digital download, please like this video, and if you could, please comment, "I want Thor," down below. If you comment as a separate comment, please keep them two separate comments. I'd like to kind of scan through them pretty quickly if I could. So yeah, just going to put this over here as a reminder. So starting off on the DC side of things, we have The Flash. Excellent title, really love it. They completely blew it open by adding some additional forces beyond the Speed Force, which Barry Allen and Wally West broke while they were racing. So this kind of brings in the multiverse. I've always loved the multiverse, separate parallel universes, things of that nature. So you have so Barry Allen sends out this little, distress call to the various flashes of the multiverse. And, pretty cool to sit here and just kind of scan through to see like all the various variations that there are. Some of them we know that, they've been introduced along the way, but a lot of random stuff in the background that I've never seen, personally. So yeah, kind of explaining that, above and beyond the Speed Force, there's also the Still Force, the Sage Force, and the Strength Force. So this is across the DC title. It's not just in the Flash, because they're bringing it in the Justice League title as well. So it was kind of like a, universe-wide type of event that happened here at the Flash Wars that recently concluded. So that was a highlight of this one. Overall, they get into another story arc with the Trickster, and of course, Snart is a good guy now, and he's teaming up with the Flash, as you see here in the cover. So yeah, I have a lot of the B covers coming in through Midtown this week. All the Matina covers, my LCSs hardly ever pick them up for some reason. So yeah, all the Matina stuff really comes in through Midtown. Moving on the DC side, A New Age of Heroes Sideways. I hear that this guy may be, dying off, or they may be canceling this title overall. I've enjoyed it so far. Any type of new hero, either teenager, like a kid trying to, learn the new powers, learn how to be a superhero. I've always loved those storylines, like those little origin stories, their little struggles and challenges along the way. This one really fit it. It had, superior artwork to go along with it, in my opinion. I really felt this was kind of like a Jerome Pena, but like a little bit more sketchy, a little bit more pencil sketches, in there, compared to Jerome Pena. So yeah, really hope that they don't cancel the, Sideways overall, or maybe they fold him into like another team or something, along the way. But I've enjoyed this character so far, I really hope they don't cancel him. All right, this one was announced, I think 2 weeks ago, possibly, that this is indeed going to be canceled for sure. So the Immortal Man, this is number 5. I'm not really sure how far they're going to carry this one. Maybe like a, issue number 6 or 7 as a miniseries, possibly. But, another one that I feel is unfortunate. I really enjoyed the little world they kind of started building here. There's a lot of similarity to the X-Men, in my opinion. And so I think I just kind of gravitated towards these characters just a little bit more, due to my love of the X-Men. Outside of that, man, I really felt, if there's no X-Men that ever existed, I really felt this team, really carried itself. I'm surprised that this one did not sell very well. So yeah, a little disappointed with that one, but yeah, I'm going to continue this one on to the end. Yeah, Immortal Man, number 5. Moving on to the Marvel side. Yeah, not very many DC issues, titles I picked up this week. Fantastic Four. So very, very long awaited. I personally was never really a true Fantastic Four fan, to tell you the truth. I love Jessica Alba playing Invisible Girl, but yeah, overall, I was never really truly a Fantastic Four fan. Again, I always loved X-Men. If you're going to talk about a team, X-Men was my team. But, pretty cool nonetheless that, they bring him back. Read through this one title, I felt that they got a good bringing back, a pretty good welcoming back, in my opinion, by, was it Dan Slott, right? Is that correct? Yeah, Dan Slott. However, not being a true fan, I didn't really read through a lot of the previous Fantastic Four titles that were out there. The Hickman run was my favorite, just because of that multi-universe, all the Reed Richards that were that partook in that storyline. That's what really, why I really gravitated towards that. But again, I felt that they did a pretty good job on this one, but I don't have a lot of history with the Fantastic Four. So yeah, Fantastic Four, nonetheless, pretty good issue. This was the cover A. I was able to pick up 2 of the incentive variants that came out at the first LCS I went to, which is, they're all cover price. So this one was by Sarah Pichel, I believe is how you pronounce her name. So this was the, I think that this was cover like D, I believe, but they call this one the preview. So in addition to that one, I was also able to pick up this one from Emanuela Lupacchino, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. Very more detailed, a lot more striking in my opinion. So yeah, really love this cover. So yeah, Fantastic Four, happy to pick up these 2 incentive variants at cover price, and pretty good return for them. All right, moving on to the X titles, XMen Blue. So in this one, they're kind of, reintroducing the timeline adjusted X-Men, the original X-Men that came to our timeline. So this is them, I guess, in the future that they're introducing here, that they showed on the cover that they introduced here at the end of the title. And this one kind of reimagines, Magneto. Magneto goes from he's always going back and forth between a good guy and a bad guy, or, starting with a bad guy, good guy, back and forth. Here he's converted one more time to a bad guy. His original mutant agenda, let's get rid of the humans. Mutants are the most important. We got to protect ourselves. That's in full effect. He's gone to the future, a little bit of a time lapse, and at the very end, he'll be fighting the team. I think that one starts in the next issue. So this one set a pretty good job of setting up Magneto as that villain one more time, in my opinion. So yeah, X-Men Blue number 33. Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows. So again, I enjoy Spider-Man. He's not one of my favorite characters by any means. I love the family aspect of this one title is what really, attracts me to this title. Really, again, one more time about the children, growing up with powers, how they learn to adapt to them, how they start to become heroes, the challenges they face along the way. Love that stuff. So, this one really falls into that category. Here you have Mr. Sinister. You figure out that, these doppelgangers that he's been making. You find out the background of the doppelgangers, a little bit of a twist. So yeah, pretty good title overall. Not a fan of the artwork at all. Maybe like a 2.0 out of 5 overall on the artwork itself, but pretty decent storylines. Champions. So we move into the new team. A little bit different lineup here that started a couple issues back. Pretty good issue on this one. You have, is it Man Thing or Swamp Thing? Sorry, I get those two mixed up. This is Man Thing. So pretty good battle between the current champion team and Man Thing. So very, very good battle. I don't know too much about Man Thing. He kind of pops up in little crossovers here and there on other titles that I've always picked up. But very good battle, man. I thought this was pretty good. So this entire issue is really based on them. A little bit more insight on Vivian and I guess like her previous sister. But Champions overall, great job. I think this new writer who picked it up, doing a pretty good job so far with a new team lineup overall. So yeah, Champions number 23. Star Wars Darth Vader. Man, one of my most favorite titles out there. Really look forward to picking up this title every time it comes out. So this one kind of introduces, you have a previous Jedi, I forgot what his name was, but this is one of the many Jedis that they found out his location. So the Inquisitors and Darth Vader are going to go hunt him down and kill him. Along the way, he has a baby, he's formed like another life. And this little baby, I believe, is going to be possibly like another Sith Lord going forward. So things obviously do not turn out very well for this previous Jedi. Loses the battle, loses everything. Vader gets a hold of that baby and gives it to the witches. These are the witches that actually raised Darth Maul. So I think this is actually like an introduction. Here's a baby here that Darth Vader obtains. I believe this baby is going to be someone, going forward, maybe like another Darth Maul, going forward. So yeah, pretty influential type of title here. Moving on to Image. Maestros. So this is issue number 7, so I could have sworn that issue number 6, I could have sworn that was the end of the title overall. The way it ended, I was a little bit disappointed. It just kind of faded to black. Everything kind of like the universe kind of like imploded, went to darkness. I thought that was the very end, it really seemed like it. However, I was surprised when issue number 7 came up in my pull box this week. So they kind of continued the story where they were, like in the black, and I thought it was completely over. And I don't know if this one kind of like gained popularity and they decided to continue the series and they, let's keep on writing it. I'm not really sure. If you have any information on this, please comment down below. But yeah, I've always enjoyed Maestros. I was never really a fan of magic. This one is all based on magic, and I love it. Really adult-based, a lot of, quick wit type of humor, sarcastic type of humor, which I always love. That kind of has that feel of it here. So yeah, really enjoy this one. If you're into the magic side of things, check this one out. Maestros, surprised that it came back. Yeah. Still on Image, Farmhand number 2. That number 1, I did not subscribe to it. I have not subscribed to this yet. That number 1 pretty much blew me away, but not enough to, subscribe. I wanted to really see where the storyline went. It seemed like it could peter out pretty quick, but, so I'm kind of on the fence, even though I did enjoy the storyline quite a bit. So this one's really based on, you have, magic kind of going on in the background. This guy is able to grow human parts, just like plants. And it's pretty cool how they kind of show different body parts. You see, like when he cuts it off, it's like straight up blood. And this is a nose. He tries to assist people with, amputees, things that I think she was attacked by her husband in this case. And I guess her husband cut off her nose or something of that nature. So, pick off the ripe plant, stick it onto her face, it attaches, and you have a brand new nose. I guess it takes time for the skin color to kind of match over time. So he is an effort to save these people, but this becomes like a big pharmaceutical, big corporation type of war game now, because they're trying to match his technology, which I think is magic based, so they've never been successful. Pretty cool storyline, very cool concept, but this is something that could be like a short miniseries, or it could be a pretty good ongoing type of series. I just want to see like where their storyline is going before I actually subscribe to it. So yeah, Farmhand number 2. Oblivion song number 6. Enjoy this so far. There's a lot of anything that Kirkman touches kind of has that Walking Dead kind of feel to it. This one, a little bit different. I think it stands up on its own. This one kind of has I don't know if you want to say this is more like a reveal or a twist, but this main character that we follow, who's been going back and forth into the realm, he's dedicated all his life, really, from the reader perspective, it's for him to go save his brother. But you actually find out here in this one issue that he actually created the device that merged our Earth with another alien realm. And that's when, I think it was Manhattan, that was kind of transplanted onto this other realm that he's been going back and forth looking for his brother and other humans along the way. So yeah, pretty good reveal that he was actually the scientist who created the device. But there's something else kind of going on in the background. So yeah, pretty cool, very good storytelling so far. Kind of gets very, very intriguing, kind of pulls you in. So yeah, Oblivion song. Port of Earth. So this is one, I've said before in the past, I could really see this one becoming like a movie or TV series. This one, pending, due to the politics that they kind of throw into this, the pacing could be a little bit slow. So if you're not into the politics side of things, this may not be a true action sci-fi type of title for you. But very cool concept, very cool, interesting storyline nonetheless. Some action happens here and there, but, my only other complaint would be, I feel the colors are a little bit drab, from my perspective. Other than that, I feel it's a pretty cool storyline, pretty strong. Very realistically, this could happen if aliens and humans, one day met, and, here are the business deals that could go on in the background. So yeah, Port of Earth. I got one from Aftershock Hot Lunch Special. This one, as soon as I saw this one in previews, I read through it. It seemed very, very intriguing, so I went ahead and subscribed to this one. So this is really a mafia, small town type of feel to it. You find out, things are kind of running in the background as they always do. The mafia is kind of always, has their hands, somewhere, somehow, maybe like multiple layers down that you never know about, but, they're touching it somehow. So this one starts off, just as the cover shows, guy eating a sandwich, and there's an actual human finger inside of it, which he got out of the vending machine. You get like a little bit of history of how that vending machine, how that company came to be. You have this guy kind of went through World War II. He marries into a family who has mafia ties. That's how this guy gets into it. It leads into his son telling a story. Pretty cool. I enjoy that small town feel, that those revenge type of storylines. Always enjoy those. I try to stay away from the pure like mafia, like Chicago type of mafia family feel to it, but something that's kind of like intermixed in a small town. Love it. So yeah, if you're into those type of storylines, check this one out. This is Hot Lunch Special. Moving on to Boom Studios, we have a number 1 called Black Badge. This is yet another one. When I was going through previews, reading through the solicit, it caught my attention. However, so I love Matt Kindt, Jeff Lemire artwork, which this kind of looked like. I really don't enjoy. So I thought that he was actually the artist. Come to find out, no, he's not. It's still kind of that water-based type of artwork and coloring. Just like, what was it? Grass Kings, and I think it looks like the same artist. I can't confirm that, but it does look like the same artist. I really enjoyed the storyline so far. So overall, you have the government who has ties to, I don't think they actually call this the Boy Scouts of America, but you're led to believe that's what this is. But you come to find out, all these badges, there's all these extremely hard, difficult badges that are kind of like hidden, kind of like secret achievements, like in video games, so to speak. The kids who actually achieve everything, and like one of these last things, you have to like dive into this cave. You have to free dive. You got to take off all your scuba gear, take off your mask, and like free dive for like 2 minutes or something. And like I think that the kids think that that's the very last challenge, but come to find out, that gets you into like this other program, and they tell you that there's a black badge merit, but come to find out, once you get into this program, you're basically like a government operative, and you are a black badge. The black badge is more of a position that you achieve in the ranks of this military / Boy Scouts of America. Pretty cool stuff. So it's current times. They're doing mission in North Korea. Very cool stuff. You have 4 kids who have been together as a team for a while, and you have one newbie coming on who just, achieved that last merit and just being thrown into the team now. Very cool storyline in my opinion. I'm definitely going to be continuing this one on. So yeah, Black Badge by Boom Studios. Matt Kindt, I love that writer. So yeah, Black Badge. One more from Boom Studio, Mech Cadet You. As I said before in previous videos, I grew up on Japanese anime. I grew up on Shogun Warriors, that's Power Rangers, at the very end, Voltron, Transformers, love all that stuff. So like this one title, like straight up, like pulled on my nostalgic strings. Love it. They've really built this one up. This one came like all the way down to the wire. I think there's only one more issue that's going to tie up the series in its entirety. You have the robots and human like making the final sacrifices at the very end in order to save Earth against this huge alien invasion. Man, this was straight up action packed. It was like watching like one of those Mission Impossible movies where, you have that timeline, up against the timeline the entire time. Man, loved it. So yeah, Mech Cadet You. Moving on to Dark Horse, we have Predator Hunters. This is number 2, the second series that came out. The first series I really enjoyed. I love Predator. I love Aliens, but there's not too many Alien storylines that I've enjoyed so far. But I've always enjoyed Predator over Aliens. So this one starts off pretty good action scene getting into it, but the rest of this title, the rest of this issue was kind of slow in my opinion. I felt the pacing was just really, really slow. Not a very, very good start on that first issue to kind of draw in those readers. If you read the first one, I'd say pick this one up, but hard to get thrown into this number 1 on the second arc that came out. So yeah, Predator Hunters number 2. All right, this is one of my favorite reads this week. This was Sword Daughter, again by Dark Horse Comics. Excellent stuff. So you have this daughter, and I guess she's like a mute, or there's something going on. Maybe she refuses to talk. So very, very low on the dialogue side of things. Great artwork, and you follow the entire storyline, no problem, just pretty much exclusively through the artwork at times. The father is fighting one of these, the Danes, who I guess was 8 years ago, came in actually murdered, slaughtered most of their family, most of their village. So this entire one issue is like a one-on-one battle between this Dane and her father. Excellent battle, man. This was a great title. I had no clue this title would be this good, man. If you have not picked up Sword Daughter, I highly suggest for you to do so. I've really enjoyed it. Got one more from Valiant. This is Bloodshot Salvation. So this is issue number 12. I have really enjoyed this one. So this one here, I think, ties up this entire title. I think they're done with this title from how this one kind of concluded. I've really enjoyed this one. This was out in, they kind of do a little bit of time jumping here, but they kind of start off in the 4000 AD, kind of go back and forth. You have Jesse, who is been captured by Rampage and the rest of the government. So this is like that final rescue mission. And man, this was a great battle all the way through. This entire title, I've never enjoyed Bloodshot. If you've never gotten into him before, man, you could start on this one Bloodshot Salvation, not read anything else, and just totally be into this character. They also introduce his daughter Jessie here, which you've never seen before. She's going to be like complete badass growing up. But yeah, Bloodshot Salvation, really enjoyed it. So that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. And guys, again, please recall the please like, and if you want this digital to be selected for a drawing, please comment "I want Thor" down below. Guys, that's going to be it for this week. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.